विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ। Verse 45. चेतना चेतनविदा कूटस्थात्मकृता नहि किन्तु बुद्धिकृता भास कृतैवेत्यवगम्यताम्. So Vidyaranya is dealing with Tvampada, which is a mixture of actually two principles. One is a Kutastha Chaitanyam and other is a that is called Kutastha Chaitanyam is called Bimba, Sakshi, or other is a Abhasa Chaitanyam, Vyavarik Chaitanyam, or you can say Pratibimba Chaitanyam, etc. or Chidabhasa. So this Chidabhasa alone is called Jiva. Chidabhasa alone is called ego. Chidabhasa alone is called that Ahankara. So this Ahankara is a technical word in Vedanta. Ahankara, the word we use even in the Sanskrit language also as such. But that Ahankara will be the person who is egoistic. Oh, he has a big ego, Swamiji. So that is a different thing, but that Ahankara also involves this only. Anyway, but this Ahankara means the very I notion. So Kutastha is called Atma, and this is a mixture. It's a mixture. This Tvampada, well, basically the individual is mixture of these two, Bimba and Pratibimba, Kutastha and Ahankara, etc. And all these three persons, first person, second person, third person, involved, right? All that refers to this Chidabhasa only, Vyavarik Chidabhasa only. Because there is a plurality, location and division, and that's how we say this first person, second person, third person we call Chidabhasa because of this reason only. Why? Because there is a plurality, because there is a location, and because there is a division. Like you see the first person, I am on dais. Well, you are on the floor, he is on the chair. You can understand now. First person, second person, third person, well, different locations. Therefore, I goes with one location, you go with another location, he, she go with another location. Well, definitely all these three are possible. Well, definitely different locations are possible for Chidabhasa, not for Kutastha. So, well, why do you say like this? Because, Chidabhasa is basically reflected in reflecting medium. And therefore location is unavoidable. There will be location because reflecting medium has a location. Chair is one location, then another, floor is another one, etc., etc. And therefore, basically, Chidabhasa must have a reflecting medium, and reflecting medium is a localized, and therefore definitely Chidabhasa has a location, and therefore first person, second person, third person all have a location. So reflections are basically as many as reflecting mediums. And so, since reflecting mediums are plural, reflection basically have to be necessarily located. And plural also, right? Plural also. I, he, she, you can count. So plurality is also there, location also is there. And when the location and plurality will be there, there is division automatically. Khanda. Khanda means division must be there. And so, like Chidabhasa is there in this mind, another Chidabhasa is in your mind, other third Chidabhasa is in somebody else's mind. So, all these things, division is there because location is there. If location is there, specific locations are there, they are divided already. And plurality also will be there, definitely. And so, Chidabhasa, well, basically has this location, plurality and division. And but that's how these persons, first person, second person, third person, etc. Well, we say they are Chidabhasa only because first person also has a plurality, first person has a location, right? I is here. When I use word he, then I am referring something else. So I, he, you, etc. Well, definitely they, first person, second person, third person, all have a locations in different bodies, etc. And well, it has a plurality and it has division. And therefore I, you, he, all these persons basically refer to Chidabhasa only. Cannot refer to Kutastha. Kutastha is one. There is no question of location. Where is Kutastha located? That question itself is irrelevant. And therefore, because somebody is going to question me, not today but tomorrow. Swamiji, you were saying Aham Brahmasmi, then that there I is basically Brahman. And now here you say I means first person and Chidabhasa. So Chidabhasa is Brahman. I can say Chidabhasa is Brahman, but Brahman is not Chidabhasa. But anyway, I don't want to go into that. Only I want to say that in Vyavahara, what we say I, you, he, etc., all refer to Chidabhasa. It proves Chidabhasa. Because there is a plurality. Right? Even many eyes. How can you say I has a plurality? Yeah, that is what the language is. What is the plural of I? Is it there or not? Yeah, it is there. We. We is there. In you also plurality. Let the name be you. But then you means plurality also will be there. He, she, it has a plural, has a plurality. We refer as a they. And therefore, there is a plurality. And when there is a plurality, division is automatically there. Otherwise, how will you prove plurality without division? And therefore, and if plurality is there, location also is specific. Unlocalized thing, how can you count plural? Please show me. Unlocalized, total, you don't know where is the location at all. And wherever you see, suppose a particular thing, you see that thing alone in every location. How will you count plurality? Please tell me. You cannot count. Plurality proves a division also, plurality proves a location also, or location proves plurality, either way. And definitely that refers to only reflection, because reflection has all the things. Means reflecting consciousness has all these things, not the consciousness as such. And therefore, I, you, he automatically proves Chidabhasa. That first person, second person, third person proves Chidabhasa. Okay. So, well, that we have understood. Now, that for Chidabhasa you will use I, you, he, etc. all persons. That's all right. Forget about that. Now, for Chit, which word would you like to use? Well, Vidyaranya wants to say that Swayam is an ideal word for that. So, Swayam is a ideal word. So, entire current discussion is now regarding this Namakaranam. Entire discussion is regarding this Namakaranam, nomenclature, I mean. So, right now we don't have that problem. How I can be Brahman? That problem is not there. Here, right now, the problem is a semantic problem. Well, just why this particular word Swayam refers to Kutastha and why this I, you, etc. refers to Chidabhasa. How? That's a problem. So that we are actually now dealing with. Okay. So what should be the proper name, appropriate name for Kutastha or Atma, either? So, well, we have a quarrel in this Namkaranam only, in nomenclature only. So, for Kutastha, the ideal name is self, Swayam. And Vidyarananda wants to logically prove that thing. He says, well, Kutastha pervades all three persons. All three persons. Kutastha pervade I, Kutastha pervade he, Kutastha pervade he, she, it, Kutastha pervade you, and therefore I is a Chidabhasa, he is a Chidabhasa, you Chidabhasa. All these are pervaded by this Swayam. And so we have to choose a word which go with all the three persons, right? And that is Swayam. That is Swayam. That is self. So Kutastha pervades all, and naturally, if Kutastha pervades all Chidabhasa, wherever the Chidabhasa is there, definitely Chit must be there. Chidabhasa can't stand independently. Then Chidabhasa becomes Satyam. So Chidabhasa stands on Kutastha. And then, then I, you, etc. refers to Chidabhasa. Then we should use a word which refers to all the persons. And that is Swayam. I myself, you yourself, he himself, she herself, it itself. And therefore, self is the self word refers to Kutastha. Okay? Swayam refers to Kutastha. That's the ideal word right now. In today's discussion, that may change perhaps. But right now, it is an ideal. Well, so Swayam goes with all the persons. Word Swayam goes with all the persons. Just as Kutastha pervades all Chidabhasa, word Swayam goes with all the persons. Therefore, Swayam refers to Kutastha. I, she, he, etc. refers to Chidabhasa. So, word self happily joins with all the persons. So, Kutastha is there in all the persons, in all the Chidabhasas, and same way Swayam refers to all persons. Swayam inheres in all the persons, and therefore Swayam is an ideal word for Kutastha. If Purapakshi says if word self can be used with first person, second person, third person, then word Swayam can be used with inert object, because it itself you are saying. And so like water flows by itself. And so do you mean to say Kutastha Chaitanya pervades shall be there in inert objects also? Because third person, suppose if it is it, and it is an inert object, right? And therefore, the self goes with that also. Word self goes with that also. And there, do you mean then self, that word Swayam or self refers to Kutastha? So Kutastha pervades even inert objects also? Do you want to say that? So we say yes. Well, Kutastha Chaitanya shall be there in inert object. Also, Vidyaranya says, yes, we want to say that. Tathastu. We are happy to nod our heads, and no problem at all. Inert objects also Kutastha pervades, and insentient objects also it pervades. All the persons it pervades means then definitely Kutastha pervades even sentient, insentient objects also. If Chaitanyam is in both, in Kutastha is in both, what makes a difference between a sentient and insentient objects? Chetan, Achaitan, Vastu. Sentient, insentient objects. Why are you creating a division? Because your Kutastha ultimately pervades everything. Vidyaranya says, I was sure that you are going to ask me this question. So, and you are not impatient to question, but we are impatient to answer you. And therefore he says, sentient objects basically have got two Chaitanya. What are you teaching? In this, what this Muktatma is teaching, two Chaitanya. We have never heard such thing. Itself is, creating a sense of uneasiness. So we say sentient objects have two Chaitanya, insentient has one. And therefore, Purapakshi is confused. How come two? Well, we say one is Kutastha Chaitanyam, other is a Abhasa Chaitanya. Do you remember that? Adhar Chaitanyam, Abhasa Chaitanyam, do you remember? Well, two Chaitanyams are there. In sentient objects, in sentient things, there is a Kutastha Chaitanyam and there is a Abhasa Chaitanyam called Chidabhasa. So, in sentient beings, there is these two things are there. In insentient, there is only Kutastha Chaitanyam. Even though we count, Abhasa Chaitanyam as a number 2, but that's only for transaction. When we start really counting, we only count Kutastha Chaitanya. We never count Chidabhasa or Abhasa Chaitanya. So, definitely, why? Because it is mithya. Any mithya thing cannot be counted. So, for Vyavaharik purpose, we say, for Vyavaharik purpose means what? Well, that too, just to show you the difference between Chetana, Chetana Vastu, because you are asking us, what is the difference between a sentient thing and an insentient thing? So we count two. But really speaking, it is only one, and that is Kutastha Chaitanyam, because that is the reality. Abhasa Chaitanyam being Abhasa, it is Mithya only, and so for counting as an entity, there is only one. So difference between Chaitanya and Achetana Vastu can be on account of Chidabhasa or Abhasa Chaitanya. Purvapakshi asks, well, how come this sentient being have an additional Chaitanya called Abhasa Chaitanyam, and insentient things don't have that kind of a thing? Why are they denied of this Abhasa Chaitanya? So, well, the microphone is denied of Abhasa Chaitanyam, chair is denied of Abhasa Chaitanyam, dead body is denied of Abhasa Chaitanyam. So, right, dead body is also insentient. So, how come they are denied of Abhasa Chaitanyam? Why? Why such kind of a discrimination is there? And Devatas, Manushyas and all this, other, plants and other things all have one Chaitanya. Two Chaitanyams. And this chair, etc., microphone, etc., has only one Chaitanya. Why they are denied of another one? The condition for Abhasa Chaitanyam is a appropriate refracting medium. Because Abhasa requires medium. What can we do? Abhasa means reflection, and that requires a reflecting medium. If reflecting medium is absent in a given body, then definitely they won't have that Chaitanya, reflecting consciousness, or a Chidabhasa. But what is that reflecting medium? Well, it is Sukshma Sharira, and therefore only Sukshma Sharira. Are you sure? Are you sure? Only Sukshma Sharira? No. Now when we are asking you, then you are saying something else now. Yeah, Sukshma Sharira along with the Karana Sharira. Then why you all the time, we have heard your previous lectures, every time you say Sukshma Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Sukshma Sharira. And now you say Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira both are reflecting medium. Yeah, we are saying now both. Then why you are not counting Karana Shariram at all? You never mention Karana Shariram. Yeah, we don't mention because that is understood. Why? How can it be understood? You don't say still we understand? What is this? Because any karyam cannot stand apart from the karanam. That's all. Oh, ornament is there, but gold is not there. What is this? And therefore, Karana Shariram being Karanam, it is already there. You have to understand. I need not have to mention. Okay? And therefore, Sukshma Sharira is born of Karana Shariram. And therefore, I need not have to say. When I say ornament, when I say bangle, if it is golden, okay? So if it is bangle, gold is included. I should not mention separately gold and bangle. Ye kya hai? So therefore, basically when I say Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram should be included. In fact, the very first consciousness gets reflected in Karana Shariram. That is the criteria. But no Acharya will mention this way. Sukshma Shariram plus Karana Shariram are reflecting medium. Nobody will say that. And basically there is another reason. If you remember, I have told you also, Karana Shariram is Avyaktam. Anything unmanifest can never be counted. Well, it is Mithya. Forget about that Mithya. Being unmanifest, how will you count? If something is manifest, you can count. Right? If something is manifest, you can count. If it is unmanifest, how will you count? Give example. I will not understand otherwise. Okay, no problem. When you have a 5 pounds of yogurt, okay? Butter is there or not? Yeah, it is there. Have you ever counted butter? You separately ask, you tell your son, go and get the butter. We want to prepare pav bhaji. So, okay, then go and get butter. Yeah, you have 5 pounds of curd or yogurt in your refrigerator. Just churn it. It will come out. Yeah, it is there, Swamiji, but I don't know whether it is there or not. That's how it is. Anything unmanifest cannot become, because it is not being unmanifest. It is not an object of your experience. How will you count then? How will you count? Anything unmanifest cannot be counted. And therefore, Karana Shariram, this is another reason. So we don't mention it. But Karana Shariram being Karanam, it has a status of a Karanam. Karanam for Sukshma and Sthula Shariram, ultimately. And therefore, definitely it should be included. And therefore, Sukshma Shariram plus Karana Shariram is a reflecting medium, and certain physical objects are endowed with that Sukshma Shariram, and therefore they have two Chaitanyams. They have two, Adharam and Abhasam. And certain, objects, physical objects, don't have this reflecting medium called Sukshma Shariram, etc., and therefore they are endowed with one Chaitanya. So, same way, inert objects, inert object, mind is not there, brain is there. In dead body, brain is there, mind is not there. And therefore, brain means physical thing. So that's how brain is inert. Brain does not have a Abhasa Chaitanya, right? In dead body. So wherever, where is Kutastha Chaitanyam? You should not ask that kind of a question. Chidabhasa definitely has a location, plurality, everything, but Kutastha Chaitanyam, Adhara Chaitanyam does not have this location. That question itself is irrelevant. Where is Kutastha Chaitanyam? That question is irrelevant. In fact, we can ask a counter question where it is not. When you say where is Kutastha Chaitanyam, we say where Kutastha Chaitanyam is not. Please show us. And therefore, wherever the Chidabhasa is, Kutastha Chaitanyam is. Wherever the mind is, Kutastha Chaitanyam is. And that Chidabhasa, of course, travel, etc. So Vidyaranya says in this shloka, of course, yesterday we saw Chetan, Achetan, Bhida. Bhida, difference. Difference between Chetanam, Achetanam. Difference between sentient and insentient. Kutastha Atmakruta Nahi. They are not caused by Kutastha Chaitanyam, because Kutastha Chaitanyam is present in both, and therefore that difference cannot be there on account of Kutastha Chaitanyam being there in both, inheres in both. So, means Kutastha Chaitanyam cannot make an object sentient and insentient, because it is present in both, and therefore that is not responsible for sentiency. Kintu buddhikrita abhasakrita eva. Kintu buddhikrita eva, abhasakrita eva. So difference is caused by, basically, krita is caused by. Actually, kru dhatu means to do. Kritam means it done. So that difference is done, means difference is caused by basically this abhasakrita. Difference is done by this abhasa chaitanyam or chidabhasa, which is again caused by buddhikrita. So buddhikrita abhasakrita eva. So difference is on account of sentiency, insentiency. Difference is based on chidabhasa, but that chidabhasa is again caused by the buddhikrita, means by the sukshma sharira, etc., and therefore reflecting medium. And so reflecting medium is responsible for a reflecting consciousness. Reflecting consciousness that is responsible for sentiency. And so may you clearly understand this. Avagamyatam, may it be understood by you clearly. Ava plus gam dhatu. Gam dhatu has a meaning to go, but when you put a prefix ava, it has a meaning of to know, to understand. So avagamaha is equal to jnanam. So avagatihi, avagamaha is equal to jnana. So avagacchati means to know, bodhati, etc. Let's go to verse number 46. Yatha chetan abhasah kutasthe bhranti kalpitah achetano gatadishcha tatha tatraiva kalpitah. So if you study the creation, you will find there is a chetan, achetan padartha. This body and the clip, etc. You can find a difference between these two. But basically, if you really analyze, you will find this is all elemental, right? This clip or the body, all are elemental. Even a subtle body also, elemental. Ultimately, everything is called bhautik padartha. It's an all elemental objects. Means object made up of elements ultimately. It may be a sukshma sharira, sthula sharira, it may be a clip or a computer or anything. And but body has this subtle body, definitely have a reflection. That works as a reflecting medium. and clip, etc., or the physical body also. This physical body cannot reflect consciousness. Otherwise, there will not be a death. You cannot say dead body. Why? Because consciousness reflects in the physical body also. And by that, suppose a sentiency is there. Without subtle body, suppose physical body directly reflects consciousness, there will not be death. There will never not be a dead body at all. Could you follow what I am saying? And therefore, but definitely there is a difference between subtle body and physical body. Physical body is, well, definitely cannot reflect. Subtle body can reflect, but ultimately both are elements. Both are bhautik padartha, maybe subtle elements or gross elements, but they are. And therefore, so now he is saying, ultimately all the padarthas basically are bhautik padarthas, are made up of elements. Bhutebhya jatam bhautikam. And therefore, it is made up of panchabhutas, or certain objects with abhasa chaitanya, with chidabhasa, or certain objects without chidabhasa, etc. All are basically bhautik padarthas. So we can make a difference now. So sentient objects means what? Basically they have a abhasa chaitanya, and therefore so certain objects as are reflecting medium, okay, and certain objects are non-reflecting medium. That's how. Both are bhautikam. Sukshma sharira is called reflecting medium, and sthula sharira is, and other objects, clip, etc., well, all they are called non-reflecting medium. So both are made up of elements only, but basically there is a difference in terms of a reflecting medium, non-reflecting medium. And third thing is chidabhasa. These three things are there. These three things are there. Reflecting mediums, certain objects are reflecting medium, certain objects are non-reflecting medium, and chidabhasa. So these three things are there. All are mithya. So reflecting medium, non-reflecting medium, mithya. And chidabhasa, mithya. Naturally, chidabhasa also is mithya, which is generated from a reflecting medium. Reflecting medium itself is mithya, then what is generated out of reflecting medium will be mithya. Clear? These three things are there. So all the three mithya things require adhisthana, because if you want to count them, means they should have an existence. You cannot count non-existent thing, and therefore reflecting medium also and non-reflecting medium and this chidabhasa, etc., all require adhisthana. Adhisthana means which lends existence. It's called adhisthana. Swamiji, adhisthana, somewhere I have heard it is upadana karanam. It is the same thing. Upadana karanam alone gives existence to a effect. And therefore, so adhisthana, somebody asked me, what is this adhisthana? Adhisthana means which lends existence, which stands, which provides existence to all these mithya things. And mithya thing means which borrow existence, either way. So basically all this require a kutastha chaitanyam as adhisthana. Why? Because kutastha alone provides existence to all the three. All the three means what? Reflecting medium, non-reflecting medium, and chidabhasa. Well, all require kutastha chaitanyam for their existence. And therefore, when you say chidabhasa is, that isness is kutastha chaitanyam. Well, when you say reflecting medium, subtle body, etc., or buddhi, etc., is, well, that isness refers to kutastha chaitanyam. Non-reflecting medium, clip, etc., is, that isness refers to kutastha chaitanyam. All have borrowed existence from kutastha chaitanyam. That's what he is telling here. Yatha chetana abhasaha kutasthe bhranti kalpitaha. Chetana abhasaha. So chetana abhasa refers definitely reflecting medium and reflecting consciousness. So yatha chetana abhasaha kutasthe bhranti kalpitaha. Well, basically a reflecting medium and reflecting consciousness, that is chidabhasa, both are kutasthe, on kutastha, bhranti kalpita. Now, bhranti and kalpana, same thing, Swamiji. What is this bhranti kalpita? Brantya kalpitah, Branti kalpitah. This is third, Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa. Brantya kalpitah. Swamiji, Branti and Kalpana are one thing. So we have to translate differently. Bhranti means ignorance. Avidyaya kalpitah. Brantya kalpitah is equal to avidyaya kalpitah. So, well, this reflecting medium and reflection are superimposed on Kutastha due to avidya, due to avarana shakti, due to a covering of Kutastha. We have seen all this, right? And so, then something else he says in the second line. Achetanaha gatadishcha tatha. In the same way, similarly, achetanaha gatadihi api brantya kalpitaha. Achetanaha gatadi. Why they are separately counting? We have to count separately because they are non-reflecting medium. Gatadi, gata, clip and this computer and all, they cannot reflect consciousness. And therefore, we have to separately count. I have told you three things. Reflecting medium, even though it's an elemental object, and non-reflecting medium, and Chidabhasa, right? So, we have to count Yatha Chetana Abhasa proves a reflecting medium and reflection. Same way, Achetanaha Gatadihi, well, this pot, etc., also Brantya Kalpita, they are also superimposed upon Kutastha due to ignorance. And so whole thing you have to repeat. Achetanaha gatadischa kutasthe Branti kalpitah. You have to add that from the first line. So, yatha chetana abhasah kutasthe Brantya kalpitah tatha gatadischa achetanaha api kutasthe Brantya kalpitah. Then only it will make a sense. No. Kalpita, superimposed, etc. Avidya or Maya, either way you can say. 47. Tattedante api svatvam ivatvamahamadishu sarvatra anugate tena tayorapyatmateti chet. This is the Pancadasi, We feel, after every verse, we feel everything is clear. But that is our Bhranti, I tell you. That is how I said you that in introductory class I told you Pancadasi is basically is a Manana Grantha. Will remove your doubts which are there in your head and which you don't know at all that you have doubts. You all the time feel that I am very clear. But basically when such doubts are raised by the Acharyas in particular Grantha, etc., by composing particular text, then only we realize. That's how Pancadasi, this particular Prakarana Grantha, is heavily based on Mananam. Shravanam, etc., Shruti, but this is based on. This is one of the characteristic of a Prakarana Grantha is to resolve Mananam. Certain Granthas are made. Even Naishkarma Siddhi is also like that. Anyway. So another objection or question raised by Purvapaksha. It's a brilliant Purvapaksha, really. We never think that this kind of thing can occur. So this Namakaranam controversy, nomenclature controversy is not over. We are, he says, Purvapakshi says, we are convinced. Word Swayam, self, refers to Kutastha, we are convinced. Because you say it goes with all the persons. I myself, you yourself, he himself, she herself, it itself, that's okay. So self, Swayam, goes with all the persons. Clear. It is clear, therefore Swayam is Kutastha, okay. And this I, you, etc., all these persons are Chidabhasa, okay. We are all very clear about it. No problem. But let us not be vehement about this. What? This Swayam, word Swayam only refers to Kutastha. There is no other word in the language which can refer to Kutastha. Don't be like this. We'll suggest some other name. We are ready to give another name. If you allow us, we want to give. And see, this is the way Vidyaranya defends word Swayam. is the ideal word for Kutastha. By raising a Purupaksha and putting a question in Purupaksha's mouth, that some other word is there which inheres in all the persons, and therefore let us take that word, and that word refers to Kutastha, etc. And then Vidyaranya is going to negate it. By that he wants to prove that word Swayam only is an ideal word for Kutastha. Could you follow what I am saying? And this Purvaksha says, why did the self word is ideal name for Kutastha or Atma either? So because Swayam goes with three persons, we are answering. Swayam word goes with the three persons, and then the Chidabhasa goes with three persons, means goes with all Chidabhasas, and therefore Kutastha alone pervades all Chidabhasa. Otherwise, how can Chidabhasa stand? So wherever Chidabhasa is, Kutastha is. So any person indicates a Chidabhasa. I indicate Chidabhasa, you indicate Chidabhasa, he indicates Chidabhasa, etc. Well, but basically Kutastha is there in all. Purvapakshi says, well, okay, that's okay, I understand. And therefore you say word Swayam also goes with all the person. Kutastha pervades all the persons, means all Chidabhasa, and therefore word Swayam is an ideal word for Kutastha or Atma. That's okay. That's okay. But we have another word which also goes with all the persons, and so that let us take that word as a name for Kutastha. What is that word? That or this. That or this goes with all the persons. Yeah, what are you saying? We are telling you, we are very serious about it. So Vidyaranya uses expression. First see the expression. Tatte dante. He says tatte dante. So there are two words in this. Tatta plus idanta. And when you combine together in a samasa, it becomes a dual. Right? Tatta plus idanta. And so it will be akaranta word. Any akaranta word in a prathama vibhakti dual, you will have a. Rama, Rame, Ramaha, right? Lata, Late, Lata, etc. Something like that. So this is how, so dual will have that kind of a thing. So tatta plus idanta, when you make a samasa, prathama vibhakti dvivachan will be tatte dante. But Swamiji, what is this tatta? And what is this idanta? Ta is used to make an abstract noun. So tat plus ta, tatta. Idam plus ta, idanta. And the abstract noun means what? Ness or hood. Okay? Tat plus ta. Tat means what? That. And you add ta for ness. So thatness. Idam plus ta. Idam means what? This. Plus ta. Again ness. So thisness. So thatness and thisness. Okay? Thatness and thisness. That is the meaning of first word of this verse. Tatte dante. So tatte dante is a dvandva samasa. Thatness and thisness. What do you want to say? We want to say Tvam aham adishu api swatvam. Means basically they can go with all the persons. Thatness and thisness can go with all the persons. We don't understand what are you speaking. That and this can go with all the persons? Yeah, it can go with all the persons. Do you have example? Yeah. And if I give you example of our common parlance, well, you will not accept. But if Shastra uses that and this with all the persons, will you accept? Yeah, we'll accept. Show us. First example. First example of a first person, and with first person that is used. For second person that is used. For third person that is used. Therefore that word that's called thatness. So word that goes with all the persons, and therefore, well, as per your definition, that what inheres in all the persons should be used, that word should be used for Kutastha. So that word that is used for first person, second person and third person, and therefore we say don't be vehement about this word Swayam, self. Let us replace it with word that. Clear now? This is the line of discussion. Word that also, like word self, you say I myself, she herself, you yourself. The word self goes with all the persons, and therefore that self name refers to Kutastha only. And because I, you, etc. all are Chidabhasa, all Chidabhasa are pervaded by Kutastha, and well, therefore Swayam word refers to Kutastha. Well, word that also refers to Kutastha because that also goes with all the persons. And that if I am using, if I create some example, you will not like. But if Upanishad is using word that with all the persons, then you should take it. Word that also. Word that also you should take it as that it is referring to Kutastha. Drop the word Swayam. Don't be vehement about it. Vedantis are not vehement. For Mithya, I think you should not be so vehement. And therefore, well, you replace. Instead of Swayam, Tat or that should be used. First example. That with first person word that is used. In Bhuma Vidya in Chandogya, in 7th chapter, when Narada goes to Sanat Kumara, and then, Soham Bhagava Shochami, and Tarati Shokam Atmavit, and Soham Bhagava Shochami. These two sentences are very important. Tarati Shokam Atmavit. Narada tells to Sanat Kumara that, you are a Brahmavidya teacher, you are Atmavidya, you are imparting self-knowledge, and I have heard Atmavit. Atmanam Vettiti Atmavit. One who knows the self, well, Tarati Shokam, will cross over this ocean of grief forever, ocean of uneasiness forever. Everyone is uneasy. Remaining with one, nobody can remain with oneself. If one can remain with oneself all the time, he is the most successful person in this world, because there is no uneasiness. Whenever when you fall back to yourself, that is all very nice language. You fall back to yourself. Very good. When you fall back to yourself, and then you find you become uneasy. So, and this Jnani is one who is not at all. The definition of sorrow is this: a uneasiness centered on the self is called sorrow. Shokam means we feel that some kind of one particular kind of emotion. One particular emotion is called sorrow. Then what about other negative emotion? If we say whatever makes you uneasy is called sorrow. Whatever makes you uneasy is sorrow. Okay? And limitations make you uneasy. Anger makes you uneasy. Everything, all these negative emotions make you uneasy. So, an uneasiness centered on the self, centered on I, is called grief. Anyway, Tarati Shokam Atmavit, one who knows the self in reality. Well, one can remain with oneself because Atma is basically Purnaha, free from any limitations, and its nature of Ananda, its nature of bliss, I would not say, its nature of, peace. Shantaha Shivaha Advaitam Chaturtham Manyate Sa Atma Sa Vigneyaha, and therefore it is Shantaha, and therefore, I can be with myself. Yeah. Atmaneva Atmana Tushta. That's how it has been given, definition also. One is centered, one can remain with oneself. So all this Narada said, I know one who knows the self can be free from grief. And right now, Soham Bhagavaha Shochami. Saha Aham. That I is grieving. Aham is what? I means what? First person. What is used along with that is Saha. That I is grieving. Okay? And therefore with first person that is used. The word that is used. First example. From Bhuma Vidya of a Chandogya. So, Soham Bhagavaha. Hey Bhagavaha. Oh revered sir, Shochami, I am grieving. That I. But that I means what? That indicates to what? That indicates to the person in himself who described to Sanat Kumara that I know this and I know all the 4 Vedas, I know all Vedangas, I know Rasa Vidya, I know Jyotish Vidya, that. So that person that above described Narada, that I is Shochami, is grieving. So anyway, but Saha is used with word with first person. Word Saha goes with second person also. Now where we will go? Go to Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad also gives this. Sattvam priyan priyarupamsha kaman abidhyayan nachiketo atyasrakshi. Sattvam. Sa means saha. That visarga is elided. Well, sahatvam. That you. Well, and of course, here Yamaraja is basically, praising Nachiketa, because he did not, he was not tempted by this Nachiketa's Yamaraja's offering of a Swarga and all pleasant and all other pleasantries, etc. All kinds of cars and these and that, and he said, I don't want anything. I just want Atmajnana. So then Yamaraja praised him. That you, means to that Nachiketa to whom I offered everything and who rejected everything out of dispassion, that you, like that. Okay? So, Saha Aham, Bhuma Vidya, Chandogya. Saha Tvam. Well, here Yamaraja in Kathopanishad. That you. So, with the second person also, word that is used. And of course, and Gita Dhyanam itself, etc. Sotirna khalu pandavai rananadi kaivartaka keshavaha sa rananadi. So rananadi, that proper noun indicates a third person. So there also that saha. Instead of saha it is sa because of the feminine noun, rananadi, etc. So in that you can see in that our Gita Dhyanam, that shloka is there. So okay, so that saha, that goes with the first person. Soham Bhagavad Shochami in Bhuma Vidya Chandogya. Sahatvam priyan priyarupamsha kaman, that you. Well, in Kathopanishad and Sotirna khalu pandavai rananadi, etc. Sa rananadi, etc. That is there as a third person. Rananadi indicates a third person. A proper noun indicates a third person. And therefore, and so basically saha goes with third person also. Purvapakshi has got a powerful example. Because the person, this pronoun saha can go with first person, second person, third person, and so O Vedantin. And Kutastha should pervade all the Chidabhasa, all the persons, and therefore that word that goes with all the persons. So word that pervades all the persons, and therefore word that can be used for Kutastha. Don't be vehement about word Swayam. Okay, we accept. Word Swayam also refers to Kutastha, but don't say word Swayam alone refers to Kutastha, nothing else. Don't say that. Words that also can be used. And if I am not using, Shruti itself uses. So you have to accept. And for instead of that, you can take this also. Thatness and thisness, both we said, right? So here we have given example of that. Now, whole shloka is a Purvapaksha. See here. Tatte dante, tattacha idantacha tatte dante. It's a dvanda samasa, I already told you. It's a akaranta strilinga prathama vibhakti dvivachana. And tvam aham adishu. So these two words, tvam, second person. Aham, first person. Adi pada, third person. Adi means etc. Means third person. So this tatta and idanta, thatness and thisness, or word that and this can go or can be used with all the persons. So tvam aham adishu means with regards to. Tvam aham adi vishayeshu. Right? So with regards to this second person, first person, third person, word that and this can be used. That sarvatra anugate, they go with all. Well, and so anugate, that is also akaranta strilinga prathama vibhakti dvivachanam, because it's an visheshana. Exactly like swayam. Like the word swayam goes with all the persons, word that also goes with all the persons. And tena, because of that reason, tena karanena, tayoho, well, of these two words, this and that, api atmana iti chet. Why can't we have atmana means atmanamna, kutastha chaitanya namna, or atmanamna, of these two words, this and that, well, why can't we employ this, that and this for atma, for kutastha? Instead of kutastha, he is using word atma. Okay? And therefore, why can't we employ word that for kutastha? Keep Swayam also as a Kutastha. Word Swayam indicates Kutastha, let us accept it. But word that also can be referred as a Kutastha. So we have to understand this, that he does not negate that Swayam does not indicate Kutastha. He says it is okay. But don't insist upon word Swayam. Atmana. So means here you have to take Atmanamna, because here indicates it like that. So word Atma, it indicates Atma here. So for, that can be used for Atma also. Iti chet, I have told you, when iti chet comes means Purapaksha is getting over here. Iti chet means if you ask such a question, or if such a kind of a question is there, then answer in the next verse. Te atmatve pyanugate tattedante tatastayo atmatvam naiva sambhavyam samyaktvade yatha tatha. Here he gives an ingenious answer. This is Vidyaranya. So, he is going to negate naturally the word that cannot be used for Kutastha. Even though it inheres in all the persons, still word that cannot be used for Kutastha, for Atma. What is the answer? Suppose word Saha is a word which can be used for Kutastha Chaitanya or Atma, then problem will be word Saha and word Atma will become synonymous, right? And then, then because having a common meaning, right? And therefore, and then once they are synonym, they cannot be used in one sentence. By the way, yesterday some question was raised. Swamiji, word Kutastha and Atma and Swayam cannot go together, but Vidyaranya has used. So like that question was raised from your side. But here you can understand that is there in the verse number 43. And there he is explaining Swayam Atma iti paryayo. He wants to say these two are synonyms. These two are means which two? So he has to mention both. That's how Swayam and Atma you find in a one sentence, that to make you understand that both are synonyms. If you want to show them as synonyms, both word has to be mentioned. Otherwise, how will you understand they are synonyms? So, Swayam Atma iti paryayo. And therefore, basically that's a different thing altogether. Whenever you want to say two names as synonyms, you have to mention both the names. Like clock and watch, suppose clock and watch, or see and watch. See the clock and watch the clock, etc. I said see and watch. Suppose these two are synonyms, but at least I have to mention words. I have to mention, and then you have to keep it in one sentence, right? And therefore that is a different issue. But we are sure two synonym, the words which are identical, have a common meaning, cannot be used in one sentence. Gataha kumbhaha gatam kumbham anaya. What is this? Gatam kumbham anaya. Means anaya means bring. What? Gatam. Okay. Bring a pot. Okay. Then you said kumbham also. What does it mean? Oh, that also means a pot. Yeah, what is this? Gatam kumbham anaya means pot. Bring pot. What is that? So basically you use one. Bring pot. This is not fair. Say once. Why? Because gataha and kumbhaha are synonyms. Cannot be used in one sentence. Cannot be used. And therefore, so what we find, of course, that word that, saha, and atma, if they are synonyms, then they cannot be used in one sentence. Yeah, that I accept. That I accept. But in Upanishad, they are used in one sentence. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Where is it? In the sixth chapter of Chandogya. They are used together in one sentence, and therefore they are not synonyms. And therefore, word that cannot refer to Kutastha or Atma. That's all. Where? Aitadatma vidagum sarvam sa atma tattvamasi shvetake. Aitadatma vidagum sarvam is one sentence. Sa atma bhavati. Saha, that jagat karanam sat is atma. Because that's a sadvidya. starts with Sadeva Somedam Agra Asit, means that refers to that Jagat Karanam Sat or Brahman. Saha Atma Bhavati. So that is Atma. That's one sentence. And therefore, well, Saha and Atma are used in one sentence, and therefore they are not synonyms. If synonyms are there, cannot be used in one sentence. And therefore, imagine, it's a brilliant thing. I don't know whether you really appreciate what I'm saying or not. If I give you some example from a common parlance, you may not agree. But when I give you example from the Shruti itself, then definitely there is no option for you but to accept. Unless you have no regards to Shruti. Yeah. Your Shraddha will be proved immediately. Even when Shruti says and some resistance come out from your mind, please understand that that is a weakness on my part to be a qualified student for the Vedanta. It's a weakness. Yeah, because in Sajan Chatushte Sampatti, Shraddha is mentioned. In fact, Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. Bhagavan says only one who has a Shraddha will gain this knowledge. And therefore, if any resistance comes by listening to the example of the Shruti also, definitely I have to work upon myself a lot. Anyway, so Saha Atma, and therefore that in one sentence both are coming, and therefore Saha word cannot refer to Kutastha or Atma. Well, otherwise, Saha Atma Bhavati means Saha and Atma are one word, both have the same meaning alone. Then definitely, well, no, but then that has been equated. You don't know that? Afterwards, what is coming? Yeah, Saha Atma Bhavati Tattvamasi Shvetaketo. Yeah, that's correct. But Saha and Atma is equation. You have to make equation possible. Yeah. If equation is not understood, Saha and Atma cannot be equated. Mahavakya makes you understand that basically this Jiva is this Jagat Karanam Brahman. And therefore you have to equate. They cannot be by just default they are one. If they are by default they are one, no one requires Brahma Vidya from any teacher. Because that he is using several times. And if that Saha is used for as a third person, can be used for with the first person also, then first person is Brahman, I understand by default. No one understands even after 25 years of listening. And therefore the equation has to be made possible for you. And you have to work upon it. It's an implied meaning. Saha and Atma are totally different things altogether. Saha means that Jagat Karanam Brahman, which is Ishvara. How can be this Atma? How can be this myself? You have to make it possible. And therefore, basically, it is not that simple. It is not that simple, and don't think that Saha and Atma are like Gata and Kumbha. I understand immediately they are one. Same way Saha and Atma I understood as one. Then you don't require Upanishad. You don't require Upanishad, you don't require any teacher. You are born genius. You are born with Brahmajnanam like a Vamadeva, etc. No one is born. And then why should one be born at all? So please understand, that question is going to come, I know. Saha Atma means that is the equation, Mahavakya. Yeah, Mahavakya is Mahavakya in Upanishad. Is it a Mahavakya for you or not? That requires a lot of preparation. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhe. Thousands of life goes in order to understand both are one. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Please understand this. That's a goal of life. That's a goal of life. One is born with this. One is born as an Atma, as a Jiva. And he has to understand he is none other than this Jagat Karanam Brahman. It requires a lot. It requires a lot. It is not that simple. And therefore, don't say, oh, Saha Atma, oh, that's an equation, that is a reality. Yeah, that's reality that for Shruti, not for me. Saha and Atma are different things. That is the reality for me. Ishvara is a Jagat Karanam and I am a one who is a creator. So I am a creature and he is a creator. That is the equation I know. You have to reverse the whole equation. And for that several lives goes. It's not that simple. So understand that. Anyway, as I'm clearing the doubt before you ask me question. Saha Atma Bhavati indicates, oh, Samanadhikaranyam and these and that. That's correct. You have to work that equation. That's a Bhagatyag Lakshana and what not. Everything is involved. It's not a direct meaning. Gata and Kumbha has a direct meaning as pot. Gata means a pot. It's a direct meaning. Kumbha means a pot. Direct meaning. Saha, that one which has created the entire universe, is this Atma. Uyo. No. You may be there. You may be Jagat Karan. I am not. That's how it is. Therefore, Saha does not refer. Saha and Atma are not synonyms. Understand that. Not synonyms. Once they become synonyms, then you have achieved the goal of life. You are Sthita Prajna. Okay? And therefore, that even though Bhavati, so that is me. That becomes me, not like that. That is me. Therefore, they are synonyms. Don't say that. Don't say that. That is not me. That is the reality for me. And therefore, but whereas word Swayam can be used as a Kutastha, word that cannot be used for Kutastha. And so, words Swayam and Atma are never used together. Word that and Atma can be used together, but it is used by the Shruti itself in the 6th chapter of the Chandogya. So, Atmatvepi Anugate, well, these two words, that and this, Anugate, go along with Atmatve, with Atma. So, te tatte dante means these two words, Atmatvepi Anugate, they go refer to Kutastha, refer to Atma. They should not be used along with the Atma in a given sentence, because Atma refers to Swayam, etc. But Atma and Kutastha can be used together or not? No, that also cannot be used. But then that is what you are teaching. Atma is a Kutastha, that is what you are teaching. It is same. It is same. Why I have to teach? Because Atma is not Kutastha for you. Atma is not a Kutastha. Atma means I. And then you consider yourself as all the time changing. You say also that I am changing, Swamiji. My mood keeps changing. My body is changing. Earlier I was this and now I am this and etc. So you are not showing yourself as a Kutastha. Otherwise, what should I teach you? If you, in your understanding, Atma is not Kutastha. That is how a teacher comes with the book and tell you that Atma is Kutastha. For you it is not Kutastha. So don't say they are synonyms. Because other doubt also may come. Atma is Kutastha, that's a reality. And that's reality, but it's not reality for me. It is reality for Shruti. Atma is Kutastha. Please, and I consider myself as a changing person all the time. All the time. And therefore, definitely, even Atma refers to Kutastha. That's correct. Well, and therefore, they cannot be used in a one sentence. And well, that is to be understood by me. Anyway, so Atmatve means for the word Atma, etc. For the Atma, this Tatte Dante, Api Anugati, even though Api means even though they are thatness and thisness, let it go with all the persons, but Tat Tayoho Atmatve Naiva Sambhavyam, these two words, that and this, can't refer to Kutastha Chaitanya. Atmatve Naiva Sambhavyam, they are not possible to be used for Atma. Where Swayam can be used for Kutastha or Atma. And Yatha Samyaktvadehe, well, Samyak means proper. Samyaktvam means like word proper, which can go with all the persons, but which cannot be used for Kutastha. So, that word that also can go with all the persons, but cannot be used for Atma or Kutastha. So, he is giving an example. Yatha, just as, example. Samyak tvadehe, word samyak, proper. Well, you never use for Kutastha. You may be using for person, a proper person, right? And therefore, word proper can be used with a person, all the persons you can use, but that cannot be used with Kutastha. You cannot say Kutastha Chaitanya means a proper Chaitanya. You never say that. That kind of a thing will not be there. So, he is proper, she is proper, I am proper, you are proper. Well, that is okay. That's okay. So, word proper also goes with all the persons. But still, so therefore it pervades all the persons, it inheres all the persons, it goes along with all the persons. And therefore, word proper can be used for Kutastha. No, cannot be used. Otherwise, for Kutastha Chaitanyam or Atma is equal to proper. You cannot use that way. We have never heard also of that kind of a thing. So, yatha samyaktvadehe atmatvam naiva sambhavyam. Samyaktvadehe, Word proper etc. cannot be used atmatvam for the word atma etc. For the atma, I'm sorry. Tayoho and tatha, in the same manner, tayoho means tatte dante, with thatness and thisness, even though they pervade all the persons, cannot be used for atma, for kutastha. This is the criteria. We'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.